Hello, Christ Church. My name is Paul Fowler, and again, I'm happy to be able to share the devotionals with you over this Advent season. We're working through our Advent devotional called The Good News and Hope of Christmas. And my hope for you is that each day you're taking time to read through the passage, to read through the devotional, process some of the questions, and pray and see what God is doing in your own life this season. It's a great tool to use at the dinner table with the kids, or maybe even your small group. But our hope is that you get the biggest story of what's going on at Christmas. That for all of us during this Advent season, we can embrace that good news and hope throughout this season. Today's passage, we're going to be looking at Luke chapter 1, verse 23 through 25. If you tuned in yesterday or if you've been following along, we've been introduced to two characters, Zechariah and Elizabeth, who are the parents of John the Baptist, the one who would foretell that Jesus would come. And what's so amazing is we see this angel Gabriel show up and announce this birth, and Zechariah is looking for proof, and now, since he doesn't believe, since he doubts, he actually is silent. What we see in our passage today, verse 23 through 25, is that he heads home to his wife Elizabeth, who, just as the angel had prophesied, becomes pregnant and is going to have a child. And what's so amazing in the story is what she says. In verse 25, she says, "The Lord has done this for me. In these days, he has shown his favor and taken away my disgrace from among the people." You see, she internalizes this as a part of a process she's been through her whole life. In her not being able to have a child, she had felt kind of shame and disgrace among others in society. Perhaps for yourself, you're in a place where maybe you feel that same way. Maybe you're at a juncture where you've gone through difficulties in your own life, maybe a divorce or maybe a sickness, or maybe unsure of a career or a job change or whatever it might be. A place where maybe you feel pressure from others in society that they look down on you. No matter what you're going through in life in this world, what's so amazing about the story that we see here is, like Elizabeth said, God already knows each and everything that we're going on in our lives. But what's so amazing about the good news and the hope of the Christmas story is that God not only knows your struggle, Jesus comes down, the Son of God comes down and becomes a human and has experienced your struggle. That's the good news and the hope of Christmas, is that God knows exactly what you're going through because he, as a human, has also experienced it himself. That's where our hope comes from. So my question for you today as you kind of process through is, what's that difficulty that you're going through? How have you seen God show up in that struggle? And perhaps how would it change your perspective for you to think and understand that God knows exactly what you're going through, that he's experienced it, and that's the good news and the hope of the Christmas story.